Rise and shine. It's time to get the day started with the morning show of record for the Homestead community. It is the Farm2Table Direct Show morning edition. Well, let me get this camera adjusted, folks. We're a little bit out of whack. I had a live last night and had to move it. But anyway, this one is going to be Memorex. So if you are tuning in expecting this to be the live chat that it normally is, you can feel free to chat right there amongst yourselves. That will be perfectly fine and acceptable. And also feel free to go back if you did watch it on recording, or if not, go leave comments in the comment section, that type of thing. All appreciated. Hope you all are having a great and wonderful Monday morning. Hope you all had a great weekend. It flew by like always. Busy, busy, busy. It is, oh man, what a great and wonderful day. I'm going to look and see what the weather forecast is supposed to be. I think it's a lot warmer today. Let's see what Sunday says where I live, or Monday rather. 28 for a low, 51 for a high, and sunshine. I'll take that. After all that cold last week, man, oh man, well, I take that. Well, listen, last night, Sunday evening on the, I guess what you call the Sunday night, the Homestead meetup. Jack coined a term, and I can't remember what it is. So somebody, please feel free to leave that in the comments. Those were there. Wild Huckleberry was there. I know I got on really late. I was at a man church thing going on last night, but got on in time to catch part of Red Dirt Rooster Roads live. And Robbie with the Wild Huckleberry was there. Critter Creek, Mickey was there. Jack Dyer with Dyer Family Farms. Joyfield Janae was on. I know before I got there, Paul Case had been in. And there was a lot of other people in the chat. Of course, my brother was there in the chat as well. I jumped in for the last little bit. It was quite humorous. Talked quite a bit about, meetups. Talked about the upcoming Okie Expo, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But or I'll at least announce the dates and just kind of the whole process. It was a good time of information, but also laughing. So listen, if you get a chance on Sunday evenings, it starts off. I know there's Money Pit Homestead, and I know, and then the Wild Huckleberry, and then Dyer Family Farm, and then Red Dirt Rooster Road. Also at the same time as Wild Huckleberry is Dale 9 Acres comes on, and then I know at the same time of Red Dirt Rooster Road. Oh, wow. Can't remember, just lost it. Anyway, there's other stuff. There's a lot of lives on Sunday night. It's a busy night. Anyway, hope to see some of you out there, and some of you are regulars there. But anyway, we're going to jump right on into today's. Actually, go ahead. Oh, man, I'm 3 minutes in and just haven't even said what we're talking about today. What we're going to be talking about today is the Joel Salatin documentary, The Lunatic Farmer, or A Lunatic Farmer. It's released by Angel Studios. And we'll get into that here just shortly. But anyway, and now time for today's Reality Smackdown as we hit a few headlines that caught my attention as I was preparing for this. First, Trump hits Colombia with tariffs after turning back or refusing deportation flights. There have been some of those. I know there was 4 into Mexico. There's been a lot of others going on. He's getting busy. Whatever your thoughts are on that, hey, feel free to leave them in the comments. But, I'm all for immigration that's done right. This is the land of opportunity. I do completely understand, truthfully told, why a lot of people are willing to risk coming here illegally. But truth is that, there's a process. Now, you want to fix something, you need to fix the immigration process and what it is to clear out all the bureaucracy, clear out all the red tape of what it takes to get here. My brother Keith and his wife went through that. She's from the Philippines. And it is incredible. So I can understand it. Fix that. But otherwise, got to do what we got to do. Here's a little highlight. Let's see. Trump directs U.S. government to override California water policies if necessary. As many of y'all know, he traveled out there this weekend or Friday this weekend to view the damage from the Palisades fire and other things. And he had some stuff to say about it. So, but anyway, so he's saying, hey, we're going to do what we got to do. Take care of the people. Am I being censored? Some U.S. TikTok users say app feels different after the ban was lifted. So is it the same? or has it changed? I'm not a TikTok user, so maybe some of y'all are, and y'all can let us know. But anyway, now let's end it on a high note, I guess. If the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs will meet in the Super Bowl on February 9th. Going to be a great game, I think. I'll be honest with you. Even though I live close to Kansas City, I'm probably pulling for the Eagles. Um, Honestly, I was pulling for the Buffalo Bills last night, hoping they were going to pull it out. And it was a close game down to the last few minutes, and field goal difference. So it was a close game. Glad to see it that way. But anyway, so that is your news headlines. That is the reality smackdown. A lot of stuff out there, so many things, and man, so much of it is negative, and it's hard to cover it all. But it's what we do here on the Farm2Table Direct Show Morning Edition. Anyway, and now for this day in history, January 24th, 1825, way back, U.S. President James Monroe urges Congress to approve creation of Indian Territory west of the Mississippi for the relocation of Eastern Indian tribes to, quote, promote their welfare and happiness. I don't know if they felt the same way. I'm just saying, y'all. Oklahoma's a great place and all, but yeah, And I got my opinions about James Monroe. We could get into that. That'd be a whole different show. Me talking about presidents and politicians and things of the past and some of the things they did. But that's the hindsight of looking back in the lens of history, looking back from today's perspectives on things. But anyway, that was the first thing. 1880. Hey, we all should be appreciative of this. 1880, Thomas Edison patents electric incandescent light, i.e., the light bulb. Made the world a brighter place. And so thank goodness for that one. We're going to jump way forward. 1948, Soviet troops liberate Auschwitz and Birkenau concentration camps in Poland, and now commemorated as International Holocaust Remembrance Day. So today is International Holocaust Remembrance Day. Let's see, jumped up 1967. On this day, fire in NASA's Apollo 1 command module kills astronauts Gus Grissom, Ed White, and Roger B. Chaffee during launch rehearsal. The space race was not getting off to a real good start. It's tragic, sad loss of life, but they did go on to, whether you believe in the moon landing or you don't, I'll leave it up to you. But anyway, the Apollo missions and all the things that happened there with the right stuff. Anyway, now we're going to go up 1976. This ought to be a good laugh and a good way to finish off this day in history. Laverne and Shirley, TV spinoff from Happy Days starring Penny Marshall and Cindy Williams, 1976, premieres on ABC TV. Man, I was 4. No, 3, about to be 4. That was a young time. But anyway, that was always a good, fun show. Always laughed at that show. I'll tell you, it's, I'm sitting there looking at my timer up here and how far I'm going, and it's amazing how fast we get through some of this when I don't have y'all in chat with me, and I'm just reading through headlines and doing stuff. I'm going to back up just a minute. I mean, let's see. Yeah, that was all of it. I stopped in 76. I could have kept and found some more things, but I'll be honest with you. This day in history, past night 10, Laverne and Shirley, just really wasn't a great day in history. A lot of bad stuff in there, a lot of negative news, and I was just like, I've had enough. So I clicked off on it. Well, anyway, we're just going to go ahead and roll it. Maybe a little bit shorter show today. I don't know. Yeah, it's what happens when it's Memorex and not with y'all guys live and in the chat to help me along. But anyway, I do appreciate all of y'all who watch, who are loyal listeners, and who are in the chat with us on a regular basis. I look forward to hopefully seeing y'all back Tuesday morning live for our Tuesday morning live edition of the Farm2Table Direct Show Morning Edition. Anyway, what I want to talk to you about today, Angel Studios released Joel Salatin's documentary titled Lunatic Farmer. I got the notification from Joel Salatin blog that I subscribed to. And then also, of course, it was shared out, Angel Studios, but then it was shared out. Okie Homestead Expo shared it out. Ozark Homestead Expo shared it out. The word was getting out rapidly Friday when it was released. I reviewed it, got home, subscribed to Angel Studios, became a guild member. Comes with some perks. I was going to spend a few extra bucks. But anyway, joined that and watched that documentary. I'd seen the teaser, the trailer, if you will, and got in and watched it. Now, I've sat down, had the privilege to sit down and interview Joel. Met him 3 times now. First 2 times talking to him, briefly talking to him the first time. Last time was at Road Food Conference, shook hands and all that stuff. And good to see you again. And he hit it out of the park there as well. But Ozark Homestead Expo last September, got the privilege. He graced us with his presence with a little bit of his time. Is gracious with it to come over and sit down on set with us, and I was able to speak with him and do an interview, which you can find on the Farm to Table Direct Show. Our interview with Joel, and a lot of the same stuff that is in this documentary is stuff that he shared with us on set. It's his story. From the early days of his dad and their generational family, where all the dreams kind of started, their time down south. But anyway, and through all his time on the farm and some of the struggles and just some amazing information. And so I'd heard this, but I will tell you that the company the production company who went out and recorded this, the editors and all the stuff and I can't remember them all. I don't have them listed down. But the people who did this documentary, and it was released on Angel Studios, phenomenal job. That's the first thing I'm going to say. To bring his story to life. He's telling the story. There's photos. There's a lot of historical stuff there in the sense of pictures and the video. And the way it was told and the way it was presented was told in a way that was impactful, and it was told in a way that was real. You got to see his story with video accompaniment, and it was filmed predominantly, and I think all filmed actually, on Polyface Farms there at their place. And of course, there's photographs and there's things that were saved from back in the day. His mom's photos and her being, and as well as his grandmother, but particularly the mom. His mom, who's still with them, still lives on the farm, being superb at photographing and documenting things, through photo and some video, but of their life. And so you're able to see this in a way that was, like I said, it was impactful and real. And it told their story in that honest way. And there's some emotional moments in it. There's some tear-jerking moments in there. And then there's some proud moments, and there's some amazing stories. And so I encourage you to go check that out. One of the other things I will note, it was Joel's story. It was him and his family's story. His grandfather, his dad, himself, his son, and so forth. It's their story. And, where they came from and where they're at and what's going on and how they got there. But it also tells our story. I feel that it puts a light on the story of y'all, those who are homesteaders, those who are farmers, ranchers, those who aspire to be homesteaders and ranchers, or simply those who aspire just to live a life of independence or a life of free from the dependence of the system, so to speak, in the sense of where your food comes from and how you live your life and the values that you pass on, your family legacy, your family heritage. It tells our story. And it is, in so many ways, the quintessential, what I would call American dream, not what society and what the pressures of society would say the American dream. American dream, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, 2-story house, 2-car garage, 2.5 kids, all that stuff, well-paying job, all this financial stuff, all the goodies and gadgets. But the American dream that I talk about is that there's a dream, and somebody takes that dream and they put it into action, and they build that, and they work on it, and and that dream gets passed down, and then that next generation works on it, and then the next generation works on it, because I'll be honest with you, sometimes it takes generations for the dream to be realized. With those who've heard Joel's story, this, but his grandfather dreamed to be a farmer. He wanted to live on a farm and make a living on a farm. Never happened. And he passed that to his son, Joel's dad. And, he went to extreme efforts to be able to do it and lost part of it and started over and never again realized living full time on a farm. And then along, and that passed to Joel. And Joel took that up, and that was his dream. And he made it, him and his wife, and the grace of God, they made it happen and lived to the way they lived, or the choices they made in order to be able to do it. And then he passed that to his son. And Joel's still there, and his wife's still there. Grandma's still there. There's still, all this generations there on that farm. Right now there's 4 generations living on Polyface Farm. And that is amazing. And Joel's passed it to Daniel, and Daniel's taken over the day-to-day operations. And now Daniel's son, Joel's grandson, is the next generation, and he's there and he's involved. And so, sometimes you take, Joel's grandfather. He never got to see it. Joel's dad was fortunate enough, even though he died young, he lived to see. I don't want to I'm giving away so much of this stuff. Y'all are getting free synopsis on this. This is great. But my point is sometimes it takes generations, the things we build and the things we do. And so it takes that time. So that was great. And, the art of storytelling is something that's very important to myself and my brother. We've picked up that mantle of storytelling. We strive to get better at it. And we've done a documentary or two, docu-series, mini docs, particularly the one, we did one with Restoration Farms, and it was pretty good. We did one with Olive Branch Aquaponics, beginning around. I felt it was good for what it was, and it got a lot of attention. We've had plans to work on others. It just timing and schedule hasn't worked out. But we have a desire to do that because we feel that it's important to be able to tell stories. And, we shared before, we went to Rogue Food Conference in Dallas, Texas with Joel Salatin and John Moody and some others, and who were speaking there. And it was brought up that, the art of storytelling. We have to tell stories. That's what social media, YouTube, X, Twitter, formerly Twitter, Rumble, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever your platform. We tell our stories. We need to we need to know our story, know your why, because the art of storytelling is one. I love the oral storytelling. Video is great, and I love putting that together and sitting behind a microphone and doing what we do and putting spotlight on things and highlighting things. I enjoy it very much. But oral storytelling, sitting around, in a circle with people or in a room, and somebody's sharing a story, and they can a good storyteller can bring you into that story. And I really feel that's what happened with this documentary is you can put yourself there. It brings you into his story. It brings you into it. And and it's so important that we're able to do that. All those out there who have YouTube channels that are in the homesteading community, most of you are blog, video logs. You're inviting people into your daily life. Some of you are how-to videos. I don't think there's any, maybe one or two others do what we do, where we highlight others and we talk about issues and we put together a variety show, morning show like this. We do our lives and we go out to event coverage and we interview people. But ultimately for us, the stories that each of you have is what hooks us. That's what hooks me and Keith into doing what we do, is meeting so many people, hearing their stories, getting to know them, becoming invested in that sense, but also helping them tell their story, helping highlight what they go through, what they know. So the art of storytelling is so important, and it's important so that more and more people can learn about this way of life. This thing that we and Keith say y'all are living the solution. This is America. Those who homestead, those who farm, those who ranch, those who are living a different, choosing to live a life that It's different, so to speak. It's not the mainstream grind. Whether it's for food security, whether it was medical, a lot of reasons why people do this, but we've got to be able to tell our story, and that's something that Keith and I are striving to get better at. And so, to have an organization like Angel Studios that is willing to put stories out there and help tell stories of heroes and American people and everyday people, some not American, but everyday people who do great things that are willing to take on, that's a good thing. We need, and the fact that his story is being told on such a big platform is going to do nothing but help the overall homestead community. And it's why we should support organizations that help spread the message of self-reliance and preparedness. That's why we support each other's channels. That's why we're gracious for the support that we get from each and every one of y'all. Is because that's our thing, is to spread these messages of being self-reliant, of being part of a bigger community, which allows you to have more self-reliance. It sounds contrary to thinking, it takes a community, but this home, the overall community at large of homesteaders is amazing. But the more you can, when you can grow your own food, that is a confident feeling that supersedes about anything you can do. I just rebuilt a cabinet for my kitchen. Many of y'all know I'm doing a renovation. I just rebuilt a cabinet that was in bad shape. It had gotten wet. It was junk wood, and it needed to be rebuilt. And you say, well, why didn't you just buy another cabinet? Well, I could have done that, but I built this cabinet. The reason I wanted it, it's got 3 big drawers in it. And those of you all of y'all got kitchens, I presume, drawer space, storage space in drawers is a valuable thing. And I really wanted to save this piece. So I grew up with a dad who was a carpenter. I hadn't built a piece of furniture like that. I hadn't built a cabinet like that. I'd have assembled cabinets, but I hadn't built one since I was a teenager. So you're talking 30 plus years ago since I last built anything like that. So to be able to take and rebuild and it work was a good sense of accomplishment. And that's what comes from the DIY. That's what comes from growing your own stuff, building your own things. And, I've talked about in past episode of the 5 easy steps to self-reliance, or 5 steps to be more self-reliant today. And we're going to talk more about that tomorrow night on the Farm2Table Direct Show on our Tuesday Night Live. That's what we're going to be about, is self-reliance and the self-reliance scale of what we're getting ready to launch off into. And it's going to be a great show. Don't want to tease too much, but Keith's going to be putting me on the spot, a little Q&A, getting my opinion. So look forward to seeing y'all there with that. But we should support every organization, whether it's an expo, a rendezvous, a conference, channels, shows like people like Angel Studios has put out there, maybe Homesteading, their series that is supported, that's put out now. Joe Salatin's documentary, Mike Rowe's documentaries about America and stuff. Support those organizations, show them up. One, it's good entertainment, it's good information, good entertainment, something that's clean and family friendly. And then it helps support those that are putting a spotlight on this way of life. And I think that's why we should support them. And I alluded to this earlier. We all have a story. Every person out there, whether you realize it or not, you have a story. Some of it's your background, some of it's your history, what you came through. Some of it's what you're doing now, the life you're living today. And that's a story into itself. But we all have a story. And that is my favorite part of what Keith and I get to do. All right, it's the stories, helping to tell the stories of everyday people who've made a decision to do things a little differently, and it's going to impact generations. What you're doing today as homesteaders or farmers or ranchers, or even if you're just simply choosing to shop local, buy healthy food. If you don't do nothing else, buy healthy food. Okay? Buy food that is not loaded down, over-processed, loaded down with all kinds of chemicals and names. If you can't pronounce it, if it's that big of a word, if it's monosodium glutamate, okay, if you can't pronounce it, that's MSG if you ever see it on a label, odds are it's not natural. Okay? Simplest statement as I can put it. If you can't pronounce it, it's probably not natural. So even if you just simply are choosing to eat differently, to shop differently, to support local people, to be involved, to just grow things for yourself. Even if you don't have a YouTube channel and you don't want to be a homesteader and you don't want to be a farmer, but you just want to buy a little healthier, shop a little smarter, uh, help make your family a little healthier, then you got a story. There's a reason behind what you're doing. And we've all got stories. And so making decisions that we make today that will impact generations down the road, our kids, our grandkids, and so on. That's the beauty of this. And we all have that story. Keith and I love to be able to find those stories, to share them. That's why we love the interview series when we do the speaker series with people. That's why we like going out to expos and rendezvous and events and interviewing people and sharing knowledge is finding the story. The better the story, the more we like it, uh, but that's something we got to get good at. And I think that's why I'm so excited about Angel Studios and this Joel Salatin documentary, Lunatic Farmer. That's a big step forward for the homestead community. And they do a great job of telling his story. And I will promise you, there is stuff in that story and his journey in that documentary that every single one of us can relate to in some way. There's something there for everyone. It's family friendly, first and foremost. That's always awesome. It's somebody that many of us have met. Many of us know. If we don't, we know who he is by name. Uh, and So I think it's awesome that that's being done. So I encourage you, go to Angel Studios. There's two different ways. You can just go with a regular subscription, which is I think $12, $13 a month. You can watch access to stuff. The Guild membership, which is what I went, that's like $21. You get early previews. You get a lot of other stuff. You get 2 free tickets to theatrical releases. Uh, you get a lot of sneak peek stuff. You get special behind the scenes stuff. There's a lot of stuff that comes. The ticket prices of the movie ticket alone are worth the membership. But it's supporting an organization that is trying to do things, make films, make movies, make documentaries outside of the Hollywood method and outside of all the stuff that's going on out there. So definitely worth supporting. I highly encourage it. And it's just a great story. And there's plenty more on their uh, on their app and on their site. So I highly encourage that. And by the way, disclaimer: I got nothing for this. I'm just saying it because I believe it. I've enjoyed it the time I've had it. I love this documentary. Even though I'd talked to him and I heard the story from him in person, it was still the way this organization told the story was phenomenal. And you all should go check it out. That is my wrap up about the Joel Salatin documentary. Would you look at that ticker? I didn't have any problem filling a half an hour. Just goes to show you my name should be Sir Talks a Lot. But anyway, a little humor, a little fun there. Uh, Folks, let's get in. Let's wrap this up with some upcoming events. First off the bat is February 21st and 22nd, Homesteaders of Iowa Expo 2025, Bridgeview Center in Ottumwa, Iowa. So if you're up in that area or if you're close enough to travel, I know there's some other events, but our good friend Monty Shrunk, i.e. the AE, also known as AKA, his channel, The Suburban Sodbuster. I encourage you to go over and check out Monty's channel, The Suburban Sodbuster. Quite a story, great guy. And hey, we're over there. He interviewed us. So, always give Monty some love. Good dude, really. Somebody we met through doing these expos and stuff and just become a good friend. Uh, March 21st, 22nd, Okie Homestead Expo. It's like 51 days away, folks. March 21st and 22nd, Mays County Fairground, Pryor, Oklahoma. Tickets are on sale now, $50, 2-day pass. Kids 17 and under are free. It is a Friday, Saturday. Does it got a lineup. The Joel Salatin we were just talking about. Let's see, the Dougherty, Shauna Beth Dougherty. Let's see. Zach Bauer and American Homestead, Dr. Patrick Jones. The list goes on. You can find it at Okie Homestead Expo on Facebook or okiehomesteadexpo.com. Homesteading Expo. Anyway, it's out there. You can search it. And most of y'all already know about it. Anyway, we will be there. The Farm2Table Direct Show will be at this one. Full setup, full crew, and we're going to be having a blast. Look forward to seeing everybody there. Come up and say hi to us. You'll see us in our Farm2Table Direct Show shirts. So come up and say hi. We look forward to hanging out with y'all guys. Uh, April 25th, 26th, the Shindig Ozark Living Expo, Newton County Fair and Rodeo, Jasper, Arkansas. Uh, it's a new one to me. I don't know a lot about it, but if you're in that part of the country, something to go do that weekend. I will get, there is a YouTubers meetup in Ten Killer, the Ten Killer YouTubers meetup. I will get that information out. I got to go look it up, but you can find it on Facebook if you just search Ten Killer YouTubers meetup. That's coming up in April at Lake Ten Killer. Anyway, for those YouTuber people like me. Homestead Festival at Hardison Mills near Columbia, Tennessee, June 6th and 7th. That is put on by Rory Feeks. Large event. $75 general admission. Kids 6 to 17 are $25. A lot of stuff going on down there in that part of the country. And Joy Barlow, I think that's pretty close to you. But anyway, Ozark Homestead Expo, Marshfield, Missouri, September 5th and 6th. General admission, $50, 2-day access to all of the presentation demonstrators, vendors. Kids 13 to 17 are $15, and kids 12 and under free, but must have a ticket. So you can go on to Ozark Homestead Expo. You can look that up on Facebook and get linked right in on that, or just Google search it or whatever. Anyway, that's a great event. We look forward to going up there again. The lineup is awesome, big lineup. I know they've got John Moody, Anna Ceta Scott, so many others. I know Kevin and Sarah from Living Traditions will be there. It's just a great weekend. A lot of good time to hang out with and learn and hang out with homesteaders. Anyway, and of course, same month of September, Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous, McAllister, Oklahoma, September 26th and 27th. That is at the Southeast Expo Center in McAllister, Oklahoma, where it was last year. Keith and I are proud to be a part of that as coverage, speaking, and just being a part of that, being on the committee and the board. Very proud of that event and all the people involved in it. But anyway, so come on out there. We will be at both Ozarks and that one, Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous, the month of September. And then Homesteaders of America Conference 2025, Front Royal, Virginia. Tickets are on sale now. I do believe they're getting close to running out. $50 for a 2-day pass. So if you're in the Virginia area, if you're willing to travel, if you're going to be out there, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a blast. So get on that. I will say with Okie Expo, if you haven't got a place to stay and you're planning on going and staying overnight, you might want to get on the ball. Things do sell out fast. Same thing with Ozarks Expo in Marshfield, Missouri. Springfield's where most hotels are. You got to get booked early. So do that. So that is all of the upcoming events that I currently have. And that is a wrap for today on the Farm to Table Direct Show Morning Edition. Thank you for joining us as we explore headlines and stories impacting our world for today, now, and in the future. It has been great being with y'all. I know it's recorded. Look forward to seeing how many of y'all show up to participate anyway. I love y'all guys. Thanks for the support on that. If you enjoyed today's show, don't forget to hit the like button. I'm going to stop. Tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, Farm to Table Direct Show. Not the morning edition, Farm to Table Direct Show, regular Tuesday night live, 7 o'clock. We're going to be talking about the self-reliance scale. We're going to be talking about some steps and where Keith and I are going with that, and a lot of Q&A. It's going to be a really good show. Please invite you to come out. It's a live chat event as well. We look forward to it. Look forward to seeing each of y'all there. So that is tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Farm to Table Direct Show. We will be live, 7 p.m. Of course, I will be hopefully back 6 a.m. for the morning edition tomorrow as well. But anyway, if you enjoyed today's show, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channels, Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. It is the best way to stay connected and help grow the conversation about food, farming, and community. And until next time, keep your roots deep, your vision growing. Good food starts with great people. And remember, we are #stronger together. Be a blessing to someone today, and we will see you all on the other